It was called The Secret to Regulus's Power, ReZero Season 3, Episode 10 from Mr. Echidna. Give it to me.
This was the best episode of ReZero Season 3 by far, and I know I say that every week.
Yes, we say that every episode. Every new episode is the best episode so far, yes.
But the Regulus fight was beautifully animated with actual good CGI, and it was also just a lot of fun to watch. Amelia directly targeting Regulus right in his pussy,
Balls.
and then just the way he walks on the ice was so fucking funny, and then slamming into the wall was just perfect, and holy
I don't know if something changed. I feel like Echidna got a new mic. Regardless, I love the new audio quality from this Echidna right now.
shit, Priscilla stops mid-fight to tongue kiss Liliana, and
That's
Sirius
right.
just stands there watching and waits for them to finish.
Liliana literally got post-nut clarity and was able to overcome the soul washing. Let that be true.
Capella fell into a trap right after being stabbed by one, and then Al pulls up
Fell into a trap after being stabbed by one. Good one.
to fight her. I've never been this excited to see Al. There's so much peak this episode, I can't even keep up. The ice skating scene was awesome. Amelia fucking ulted. Al Huma was easily the coolest attack she's
sick.
ever done, even
Ice
if it
meteor.
accomplished basically nothing. I just love ReZero, and it's episodes like this that remind me of that. However,
This episode was very fun. There was like a very good balance of terror and danger, but a little bit of goofy and lighthearted comedy moments, you know, with like aiming for Regulus's dick or Reinhardt just doing his thing and Subaru just making fun of him. It was a nice episode.
there was some enormous cut content though, probably the biggest of the season. So
Okay.
I don't even know what I should talk about first.
Everything.
Alright, so
Sponsor of the day.
about the Yuri scene. Subaru figures out the mechanics of Regulus's authority, except he hasn't yet identified his weakness. But he does tell us it has something to do with his heartbeat. And then Reinhardt confirms that Regulus doesn't have a heartbeat.
No
which
heartbeat.
means
Which means that he's not a living or dead being. He just, like, this is the way I view it. I think he's just ultimately in invincible frames. Like, Regulus is playing this game, but he himself has been paused. That's why he doesn't age. That's why he doesn't take damage. But how is it possible that he's still able to play the game while being paused? Doesn't that seem ridiculously unfair? Like, if you're gonna pause, at the very least, you can't interact with everyone else. But the fact that he motherfucker can still, you know, attack and do all that shit, that's so broken.
Regulus can't get an erection. Yeah, without a
Without a heartbeat, Regulus can't get an erection. Yes. Blood flow. Blood flow. He can't get blood flow down there, yes.
heartbeat, your blood doesn't flow anywhere, so Regulus is unironically more down bad than Rudius. Anyway, his invincibility is actually just a side effect of him pausing his body in time. And while his body's time is paused, it can't be affected by any outside interference. So that's why he hasn't aged in over 100 years.
But it's bullshit. He shouldn't be able to fucking interact with the outside either. Like, if you want to do invincible frames, go for it. But you shouldn't be able to attack at the same time. That's bullshit.
He's also immune to gravity, water resistance, and of course, any and all forms of damage. It's important not to get too caught up in the physics of his ability though, because you'll probably find some inconsistencies, but a simple spoiler-free way to understand it is basically, if Regulus punches a rock, his fist would go inside of the rock, and then delete the part of the rock that it would have touched. And as we've seen many times, Regulus can apply that effect to not only his body, but also anything he touches. For example, the dirt he threw at Pandora last season, or the water he used this episode, which is probably the most dangerous possible application of his authority.
I don't really get that analogy, but it's easier to understand to think that this is just vector control, like Accelerator from Toru series. That just makes sense to me, that he can just control all these shit in an atomic level, but fist into a rock, goes into it, and that just disappears. But he's able to just control all these different things too. I don't know where we're going with this.
Freezing the time of this huge mass of water and then using it to essentially rain bullets down on our two main characters with nothing to defend themselves except plot armor. I mean, realistically, this attack probably should have killed them, right? How the fuck did they survive this? That attack was absolutely brutal, but the second most terrifying application of Regulus's authority is probably what he does to Reinhardt here. When Regulus freezes the time of an object and shoots it outward, the object stays in motion, so these water droplets could theoretically continue down into the core of the Earth if Regulus
forever and ever. It's kind of like let's bring another Toru example. Kongo, bro, right? You touch something, that shit will never stop, right? She fucking hits something, that shit will continue to go and go and go. Whatever Regulus stops and forces down, that shit will infinitely just keep going and going and going.
So he does actually send Reinhardt all the way to the moon here.
And
I would love
beyond.
to see Reinhardt's POV from up there because ReZero's world is canonically flat, so I've always wondered what it would look like from above.
Yeah, it's like a sphere, right? Not a sphere, a circle. A sphere implies 3D. Earth is flat in the ReZero world, so I hope that we get like a One Punch Man scene. Y'all remember the One Punch Man scene? Or let's see if I can bring out One Punch Man. Man, Saitama Moon. Bro, like this. There's like an episode where Saitama gets kicked out by this alien thing, and bro's like, oh shit, I actually made it to the moon. And then I hope that Reinhardt like smells. Sorry, not smells. I hope Reinhardt tries to breathe. And Saitama in this scene, I think, was so broken that he was like, oh shit. What's the word? Like he's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be breathing. It's supposed to play onto the comedic effect of Saitama just being so OP that he can just like breathe in space or whatever. But imagine Reinhardt has like the divine protection of being able to breathe in space, man.
Can we also just appreciate Emilia's dialogue? I mean, Subaru says, "Lend me your ear."
But you gotta give it back.
And Emilia replies, "Make sure you give it back. And remember to hit the like button if you're staring at the same thing as Subaru right now." Now, as for the cut content, it's unfortunate that they didn't show us this, but Reinhardt actually loses a leg this episode.
What?
The lesser spirits heal it back shortly after, but before Regulus kicks Reinhardt into the wall here, he catches him off guard by breathing on his leg. Regulus pauses the time of his own breath to use it as a weapon and successfully destroys one of Reinhardt's legs.
That's crazy. Breathing, the moisture, the air, he can freeze that, use it like a blade, cuts off his legs, but Reinhardt's good.
Luckily, he just narrowly missed the other two. Theoretically, with
divine protection of 12-inch flaccid cock.
This authority, Regulus could kill someone standing behind him by farting. But about Reinhardt's leg, like
killing someone by farting, yeah, right? He could like piss on somebody and freeze that piss and use it like an ice blade. I don't know.
Like I said last video, Reinhardt,
he could sneeze. He could literally cough and kill somebody like that.
Has the divine protection of projectile immunity, which is supposed to protect him from this kind of shit. And it's
but authorities override divine protections.
not like he disabled it. This time Reinhardt was defending, and yet Regulus was still able to take his leg off just by breathing on it. Which, if you really think about it, is so fucking crazy because Reinhardt is kind of a gimmick character like Saitama, who's supposed to be comically overpowered, and yet just by breathing, Regulus was able to delete one of his limbs. However, Reinhardt was able to
it just shows you how broken authorities are, man. It's insane how authorities can just override everything like this.
block some of Regulus's attacks by using his dragon sword as a shield. But remember what I said about the rock? You can't block Regulus's attacks. You can dodge them, but blocking them is impossible.
Meaning that the dragon scabbard was an anime original plot hole mistake, which is not the case. This is just showing that dragon scabbard is actually overriding the authority?
Yet, we just saw it happen for the first time ever in history. So it's my understanding that divine protections are buffs that obey the laws of the world, but authorities can bend or even break the laws of the world. And then, above authorities is a mysterious third category that exists beyond my comprehension, which includes things like Reinhardt's sword that can't even be damaged by Regulus, who has the strongest authority in the world. What?
Interesting. Also, Emilia asks, what does that mean? The group of category of this weapon? Or is it a like I know that there's like many legendary swords in this world. Like Reinhardt's sword is one of them. The Yang sword is also another one. So if we take the Yang sword and the dragon sword, you think the Yang sword could have, you know, also defended it? I feel like no, until we see an example. Maybe this is something specific to the dragon's property of the sword, you know what I mean? Rather than thinking about the legendary swords being the things that overrides the authorities, maybe specific to Reinhardt's specific dragon sword? I don't know. We need to see more examples.
world. What the fuck is that sword made of? If this authority that breaks the laws of reality somehow can't damage the sword, then that can only mean that the sword also
Is beyond the scope of this reality.
exists outside of reality. And remember, Priscilla's Yang sword is in the same tier as Reinhardt's Dragon sword.
Could it also do the same thing? Also, amazing Dark Souls soundtrack playing these right now.
And remember, Priscilla's Yang sword is in the same tier as Reinhardt's Dragon sword.
Woo.
The Yang sword's fire is 7 times hotter than normal fire, and unlike the Dragon sword, it can be drawn at any time and used against any opponent.
I like the Yang sword more than the Dragon sword. I do. Listen, the Dragon sword is probably way better. The fact that it can like destroy everything and also recreate life and bring back green pastures, it's cool. But the Yang sword, the way that Priscilla just summons it out of thin air, something about that just tugs my childhood heart of seeing OP enemy characters pull out swords out of midair or like calling it, and it's just so cool.
It does have other limitations that I can't talk about due to spoilers, but apparently the Yang sword can kill 1,000 people with one swing. ReZero has 10 legendary swords of power, and these are 2 of them, so I'm willing to bet that just like the Dragon sword, the Yang sword can't be damaged either.
We need to see an example, right? Is this a categorical thing of the legendary swords overriding authorities? Or is it dragon element that's overriding it?
By Regulus's authority. And remember the seal from season 2?
I do! This shit was also outside the reality, right? This area, this is not snow. This place is like a different dimension entirely from the ReZero world. And this gate, also remember Amelia had a basketball, bro? And people were theorizing this gate leads to like a different world entirely. That's how Amelia has a fucking basketball at her house a long time ago.
Well, it was also described as a solemn, holy space exempt from the laws of the world. And whatever the fuck it is, it couldn't be opened even by Pandora's authority. So I would put the seal, the Yang sword, and the Dragon sword in the same category.
Okay.
And there's even one more thing in ReZero that can resist authorities, and it's a character that some of you might recognize.
Ratchins!
Natsuki fucking Subaru. The whole point of the authority of sloth is that it's supposed to be invisible, but Subaru can see that shit. And the whole point of gluttony?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, remember back in season 1 reactions? Like, there's a lot of heated debate about how the fuck Subaru even saw the invisible hand. And to us, from the beginning, in this cave, we were not able to see it. And my theory was, as Subaru dies more and more and stacks up the witch's scent, the witch's miasma, he's able to actually see the invisible hand. That's what intuitively made sense to me. But we also learned that the witch's scent doesn't stack infinitely. In fact, it will become stronger with each loop, but it doesn't stay at that level. There is not a new baseline established as he dies. It will spike up, but it comes down. And the fact that he can continue to see this shit, right? It most likely means that in this scene, Subaru could also still see it, but it's just dark in the cave, and from our perspective, we can't see it. But he was always able to see it because he is operating in a different fucking level. His association with the witches that allows him to remember the name of Rem while everyone else is forgotten, right? He himself is very unique like that.
Subaru.
Because he's an isekai character. That works outside of the reality of ReZero, I don't know.
Can see that shit. And the whole point of gluttony is that it's supposed to erase people from memory, yet Subaru can still fucking remember them. And
that's
finally,
right.
If Subaru ever gets the authority of greed, I bet he could probably still get an erection. Anyway, yeah, Subaru realizes that Regulus and all the other archbishops are named after stars from our universe, which at first he thought was just a coincidence, but
nah, bro. Memory Snow OVA, there's a scene with Betty and we're looking at the sky and how in this world the same sort of constellation doesn't exist, bro. But the Earth constellation names exist in this world. Who introduced this knowledge? Where did they get these words from? People from the past? Other isekai characters? I'm gonna blame Flugel. Yeah, the sage.
But now after seeing the Kararagi architecture that looks like it's copy and pasted from Japan, Subaru has 100% confirmed that they're...
Well, that's more specific to the ginger guy, right? The Hoshin of the Wilderness. He's the isekai character that introduced that system here. So what, he brought the constellations here too? Maybe?
There's other people from Earth in ReZero. And if you missed this break time episode, which you did, it's now confirmed that Al is from Japan as well.
Yep.
And he has a star name too, just like Subaru. Which
And the star name points towards Pleiades. And Pleiades is Subaru, the uniter. I'll follow Subaru.
By the way, if you didn't know this, I'm about to blow your fucking mind. Subaru is a Japanese word meaning unite,
Yeah.
as well as the name of a star cluster known as the Seven Sisters.
7 deadly sins. 7 witches. And you know what the craziest thing is too? Y'all joke about the Subaru car images, bro. You laugh about that all the time. Let me bring you the logo here, man. Look at the logo. Now, there's no 7 stars, but within the logo exists 6 stars, right? If we exclude the Witch of Envy or something like that, because he already has one, this could be like him uniting the 6 other stuff. And there's also like what? The Seat of Pride is empty, right? There's like 6 archbishops, well, whatever. Anyways, there's like the Great Uniter. Subaru is supposed to go around collecting the other witch factors, you know, in his own body. He's supposed to just be the one to collect and unite everybody.
So, just the main character's name pretty much reveals what the overarching plot of ReZero is. As for the archbishops, Baton Kaidos in Arabic means belly of the whale, and Alfred is part of the constellation Hydra the water
3
snake,
beasts.
which are coincidentally 2 of the 3 great mob beasts created by the Witch of Gluttony. The star Betelgeuse is part of the Hand of Orion. Sirius is
And the crazy thing here is Rigel is the name of Subaru's son, right? Is this not the name of Subaru's son in that the sloth route where him and Rem gets a kid?
Betelgeuse is part of the Hand of Orion. Sirius is Latin for scorching, and the star Regulus is part of the Leo constellation.
That's right, the Little King, the lion story. Lion's
which
Heart.
is how Subaru came up with Lion's Heart. But then why do the archbishops have star names? Are the archbishops also from Earth? There's not really any evidence for that. I mean, we pretty much know most of Betelgeuse's backstory, and he was never associated with Earth in any way. He can use Earth magic, and he's been rammed by an Earth dragon, but that has nothing to do with the planet Earth. So why do the archbishops all have star names?
Can we assume that the archbishops were named by their parents like that? Or did they get new names by the leader of the church, who was the one to originally have these star names? How did they get it? I don't know, bro.
My guess is that they received these names from someone associated with the witch cult who for some reason has knowledge of Earth's astronomy.
Yeah, why would she have... And is that why Pandora wants the gate to open? Because Pandora knows about Earth's existence and got the constellation? Is she just a big Earth boo? I don't know. Is Pandora an isekai character? Is she a lolly from Earth? I don't know. Did she get this knowledge from other characters such as Hoshino of the Wilderness or other characters that existed, you know, the pre-Calamity days? I don't know.
And the reason I think someone granted them their names is because I don't think Sirius Romaniconti was the name her parents gave her.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense that there'd be so many different people, parents, that would all coincidentally give them the, you know, the names like that. It doesn't make sense. I feel like they've all been renamed.
At birth. Some of you still haven't heard this theory yet, so this hasn't been confirmed. It's just a theory, but Sirius and Fortuna have the same ears, the same...
He's joking right now. Everybody knows his theory, right? This is like the most level 0 unga boonga goo goo gaga like intuitive theory, right?
Same eyes, the same ass, the same hair, the same pussy, the same fire magic affinity, the same connection to Betelgeuse and
everything
Amelia,
same,
and the same motherfuckers in the comments telling me I'm spoiling shit even though I have the same amount of information that you do.
Yeah, bro, just block him immediately. I click this ellipses, boom, hide user, get rid of this shit. Man, I wish I didn't watch this video. I'm caught up, but didn't know the Rat Archbishop was Amelia's mom. God damn, bro. Imagine being so retarded. Imagine having such poor media comprehension that someone theorizing is them validating the theory. Like, how stupid could you be? He's not even saying it's the case. He's bringing up the theory that it could be in an anime-only, spoiler-free way. And this retard goes and takes this as face value that it is the truth. Because their media comprehension, their IQ, does not allow them to differentiate what Echidna is trying to say and what they believe. These people, Roach45429, are a victim of their own minds. They're so beyond stupid that they're basically inflicting self-harm on themselves. Brilliant, huh? Just want you to realize that the average person is so fucking stupid, and then half of them are even stupider than that.
So if Fortuna is serious, then whoever gave her that new name must have knowledge of Earth's astronomy somehow. And I think that person has to be Pandora, right? I mean, who else would it be? So the point of this entire tangent, I guess, is that I think Pandora knows about Earth. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that gate, bro. I think that gate somehow, some way leads to Earth. Remember the basketball. The basketball in Amelia's little wooden house. How did she get the basketball?
Hella tormenting Felix was fucking insane, but damn, it was satisfying to watch her fall down that trapdoor. And holy shit, I got so hyped when Al pulled up.
I did too, until I realized that they're going to off-screen his fight because Al most likely has an authority and we're not supposed to know that shit yet, and we're not going to see him fight at all.
Was just perfect. That's exactly what I want. Al versus Capella. I can't believe we're actually about to see Al
we gonna get it though?
For the first time. And although I don't always trust this man, I definitely trust him to beat Capella's fucking ass. Sirius name drops Iris and the Thorn King, which appears to trigger Priscilla, and there's even an after-credits scene you probably missed that shows Sirius getting the upper hand in the fight.
Yeah,
obviously, I can't tell you what.
It's good. Early lead is bad. If you get an early lead in the fight, either you are going to win immediately or you're going to look like you're winning until the other side has a backstory and then starts winning and you're like, what the fuck?
Iris and the Thorn King means because of spoilers, but it's the kind of thing Garfield would read about in his books, so it's not that weird that Sirius knows about it.
Yeah, my interpretation of this was some sort of like folklore, some sort of legend, right? It sounds like a book that resonates, the themes of it maybe resonates with what Priscilla lost in the past, right? Why is she a person that closed her heart off like that? Maybe it's like a direct story based off of the person that Priscilla lost. Who knows?
But it is weird that she knew it would trigger Priscilla. Can Sirius actually read minds? Or maybe her gospel told her to?
She can read into the hearts and souls and feelings of people, right? She knew exactly how Subaru was pissed off that, you know, things were taking too long during that first episode, right? Her soul washing. I think she's able to peek into like the vibes of people within, but I don't know how much details they can get.
To say it, or maybe she recognized the Yang sword or something. My guess is probably the gospel, but regardless, Priscilla's becoming such a great character and her dynamic with Liliana is really great. Even despite the cut content, I think this episode improved upon the source material because I love how they changed the energy to make it fun.
Anastasia had a great moment, and yeah, the energy is very fun right now, right? It's these moments where like, another really fun moment was episode 3 of Arc 1, where Subaru is just making dumbass lines up. Oh, you're tripping a flag. You know, it's your turn now, Reinhardt. And he's goofing around. You know how dire and brutal this show can be and the suffering. But sometimes when we're about to, you know, have the reversal and start winning, the vibes are good. You can joke around here and there, have some fun, and this episode was like that.
Fun. ReZero isn't normally fun, but this episode had me hyped and laughing at the same time, so I'm giving it an unironic 12 out of 10.
Oh shit, 12 out of 10, that's rare. Usually it's all 10 out of 10, but 12 out of 10, okay.
Absolutely amazing direction, some of the best animation of the series, and incredible new soundtracks. I'm just so impressed. Also, I know you don't watch the break time episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch it. We gotta wait for the subs for this one.
But this week it was so fucking funny. The archbishops are trying to have a meeting, and Regulus just won't shut up. He doesn't even care that other people are talking. He's just in the background yapping the entire time. It's just so funny how his character slowly became the laughing stock of Priestella. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's all for now. Keep talking about ReZero.
Thank you, Echidna, for the cut content. Here's a link to his video. Please go give it a like. Go check it out. Go check the rest of his channel out. And I think one of the coolest thing about today's revelation is this stuff, right? The other category, the beyond reality category, the legendary swords. And we even got to see silhouettes. I don't know how true this is. I mean, the Yang sword and the Dragon sword fits in, so I guess we can imagine that the rest of the swords here, this looks like Guts' greatsword, man. Right? This looks like Guts' greatsword. This looks like a fucking dual Dark Maul sword. Anyways, a bunch of other legendary sword series that you can expect for the future. And why the hell do these things operate beyond the authority? Because they're not from this world. And beings that's not from this world are not impacted by the rules of this world, including Subaru and Al? I don't know where I'm going with this. See you next time.